Tony Khan kicked off AEW Dynamite with the address to the AEW fans. If you guys want all the details, make sure you stay tuned. Timestamps in the description down below. And if you haven't clicked subscribe, make sure you do so. So yes, that is true. Tony Khan did a video address to the AEW fans watching from home and in attendance from Buffalo, New York. And Tony Khan announced that he has vacated the Trios Championship belts and the AEW World Championship belt. Now, there is a lot to break down and uncover here, so bear with me. But I think it's really important that we start with the titles being vacated and the plans. First and foremost, the Trios Championship belts will be defended on AEW Dynamite television tonight. We're going to see the best friends go head-to-head with Death Triangle, and winner will be walking away with the Trios Championship belts. Now, as far as the AEW World Championship belt, that is going to be a very interesting scenario because Tony Khan announced a tournament, and basically the finalists will compete at Arthur Ashe Stadium. Some of the participants in the tournament include Jon Moxley, Chris Jericho, Bryan Danielson, Sammy Guevara, which it's probably going to be a great tournament. But I find this to be really interesting because MJF, who has the poker chip for an AEW World Championship, is nowhere near in this tournament. He's not in it. He's not guaranteed a finalist spot. I find that to be a very interesting situation here. Now, I also want to point out very clearly that with AEW making the decision here to vacate the titles, which I think is the right response, Tony Khan has failed to acknowledge what went down Sunday, nor has he decided to talk about their positions. Now, one thing I also want to make very clearly, if you were paying closely attention to the AEW Dynamite intro, the Bucks, Kenny Omega, CM Punk, they were all removed from the intro of the show. Now, there hasn't been any sort of acknowledgement as far as the talent being suspended, but at this rate, we do know that there is some talk about CM Punk being injured. Now, there has been this rumor that CM Punk was injured and will require surgery. Despite the fact that Tony Khan didn't necessarily acknowledge this, a lot of people are wondering his exact status with the company. Is he released? Is he fired? We know the titles are vacated, but Tony Khan did not get into detail within this regard. And I know some people are actually going to criticize Tony Khan here for getting on TV, which is a rare thing for Tony Khan to do. But I have to admit, I think Tony Khan actually handled this very well from the public perspective. The way that he addressed the crowd through this video message, allowing fans to understand that the titles are being vacated. Yes, he was vague, but it's really important that AEW gets back down to focusing on great storytelling and great matches. You got to put this drama behind you. Plus, we know there's talks of ongoing investigations. So I think Tony Khan did handle this correctly. I know that might not be the most popular opinion, but it's really important that Tony Khan and AEW get this right. Now, it sucks to be the person making assumptions here, but with CM Punk having the title vacated, and we still don't know his status as far as being on the AEW roster, being released, is he suspended? We don't know the duration of any of this. I think it's really important that people understand not only are these titles vacated, not only are they removed from the Dynamite intro, but there is a very good chance that Tony Khan is going to be forced to make a decision that could potentially see all of these people away from television. I also want to make it very clear because there were 7 people suspended as a whole. Tony Khan also did not address this. There was no mention of Michael Nakazawa. There was no mention of any drama other than the plans for the championship belt. So if you're a casual viewer who watched AEW tonight and you don't understand exactly what is happening, I don't blame you. A lot of people still don't know to this minute what actually happened backstage. Tony Khan wasn't willing to reveal that. I also want to make it very clear in this video, with Tony Khan making the decision to vacate the belt and come up with a tournament, while I think AEW has become a little bit too much with the tournaments, I think Tony Khan did make the right decision by not only vacating the belts, but having some concrete plans. The only thing I don't want to see come out of this, if Kenny and the Bucks return, if CM Punk returns, I don't want to see this as a situation where they are guaranteed an opportunity back at those titles. I think that is a conversation that needs to be had immediately, because at the end of the day, we still don't know their status. We still don't know if they're going to be EVPs, and I don't want people to think that this behavior is acceptable. It is not acceptable on any means, and I think it's a really interesting thing that Tony Khan's got going on here, because you know people are going to be disappointed one way or another. But I also want to make it very clear in this video, with Tony Khan being very vague about his announcement, it is the right way to go about it. I said it earlier. I think he handled this the right way, despite the fact that we want more information. Tony Khan does not need an AEW that is built based on drama and shock value. What he needs is a company built on great storylines, and I'm very happy to see that Tony Khan has made the decision to be a boss, be a leader, communicate to the audience somewhat of an update, and then we will find out more relatively soon. Now, I also want to make it very clear in this video, there is some more drama happening in AEW, and we're still awaiting details, but that actually stems from what I would like to say is the potential release of an AEW wrestler, and yes, we are talking about Malachi Black. So if you guys are unfamiliar with what's happening with Malachi Black, look no further. It appears that he has been released by the AEW company. However, it appears that he has been released with some sort of plan that will keep him away from competitors for a while. Now, we don't know the exact details on this, but Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful has come out and confirmed that Malachi Black, it appears that talent believe that Malachi Black is no longer with the company. During the AEW Dark tapings, it also appeared that Malachi Black had no mention and was not included with House of Black. Now, if you're wondering why Malachi Black was released from the company, he did request his release about a week ago or so, and it appears that AEW denied that request. However, there appears to be a change of heart from Tony Khan and AEW, because now it appears that Malachi Black's release request has been granted, but with some restrictions. And look, Malachi Black, I don't want to speculate on the mental health aspect of it all. There's a lot of talk that he might be having some mental health issues, which first and foremost, above wrestling, before you could choose WWE or AEW, you got to take care of yourself from a personal well-being standpoint. But yes, it appears that Malachi Black's no longer with the company. There is a lot of stuff happening in AEW, and I really just want to see AEW rebound and get better from this. We got a lot that we're dealing with, and AEW specifically has a lot on their plate. I really do want them to come out of this looking good. I want Tony Khan to look good out of this because I feel like it's important. You know, even if I critique AEW or not, it doesn't matter. Wrestling is better when you have multiple big companies, and the Elite and CM Punk, I feel like their actions have definitely ruined what could have been something so special. And truth be told, the drama, the backstage fight reports, all of these different things, the media scrum and how they've handled themselves, how CM Punk handled himself, I feel like that takes away from a lot of a talent. There's a lot of talented people in that locker room who should be talked about right now. But unfortunately, this drama has definitely taken over, and I think that's a very big problem. And I think Tony Khan is trying to fix this as best as he can, and I look forward to seeing what they do. Now, as far as Malachi Black goes, I'm not going to speculate. WWE, what's the non-compete clause? What's this? How long is he going to be out of action for? I don't want to sit here and speculate on that. I would like to see Malachi Black get better whenever he's ready, wherever he goes. I would love to see him in wrestling, but before he can do that, it's important he takes care of himself. This is the big update, guys. I'll keep you updated as we learn more. Thank you for watching.